In September 24, 1943, and on a water of Singapore harbor, 6 Japanese ships suffered a series of massive explosions, which led them to be sunk or damaged, and brought the Japanese into a total confusion. A typical World War II Japanese would blame this on locals. But in reality, it was a group of Australian saboteurs who had carried out a plan for a humiliating defeat from a year ago. All of this started with Lieutenant Colonel Ivan Lyon. He was on Sumatra Island in Indonesia, where he met Kafuku Maru, a Japanese fishing boat based in Singapore, and she was used for evacuating people from incoming Japanese forces. You see, Japan landed in southern Thailand, and steamrolled down to Singapore, defeating the British within a few months. The Allied were running scared. Every ship available was used for evacuation, and Kafuku-chan was no exception. When Lyon saw her, he immediately got her in sight. There, he met the captain of that boat, who agreed to let him use his beauty. But as the Japanese were coming for them, they needed to escape. Lyon escaped to Australia. Reynolds took Kafuku-chan to Sri Lanka and then brought her to Australia by a big P&O steamer. There, she was renamed after a deadly Asian snake, Krite, and she would join Lyon and his 13Z Unit commandos at their secret training base near Hawkesbury River in New South Wales, where they spent most of their time training. While training, Krite's Japanese engine gave out, and a replacement from Tanzania would take weeks to arrive. So Lyon and his Jaywick men took time to continue their training. They were so confident that they even dared to do a mock raid at Townsville Harbor, attaching dummy limpet mines to 15 ships, showing to Navy personnel that Jaywick could be a success. So Krite, now with her new engine, filled with folding canoes and Jaywick men disguised as local fishermen, departed for Singapore on September 1. Despite a breakdown and some shenanigans, she finally arrived at her destination. There, they paddled toward a harbor at night, planting limpet mines onto the hull of 7 enemy ships, and then paddled out for safety. They did this in total silence, and even if the Japanese had spotted them, they would just let them go. Early the following morning, the Japanese were awakened by a series of explosions, and there they went. 6 of their ships sunk or severely damaged. 39,000 tons of shipping went beneath the waves. A tremendous success for the Jaywick men. And while they sailed back home in triumph, the Japanese were hopping mad. They couldn't believe that these guys could do such a hell of a job. So they went from house to house, dragging those suspected out to the streets, before throwing them into jails or having their swords soaked with the blood of innocents. It was not until for months when they finally got their hand on Lyon and some of his men during Operation Remo, that they had them killed or executed. While Lyon may be gone for long, at least his boat survived. She now resides at the Australian Maritime Museum in Sydney, where she will stay for the rest of her life. The daring raid conducted by Krite, Lyon, and his Jaywick men on that night of September 24, 1943, sent a warning to an enemy. You can have it, but keep your eye peeled. We could strike in every time.